Hi, I'm Candy Samretta. I'm here at the Beverly Hills Chamber of Commerce with Dr. Howard Gluss, who is the clinical psychologist here in Beverly Hills. He's also on our Health and Wellness Committee. And we're here to talk about his new radio talk show, the Dr. Howard Gluss Show, Engaging Minds. So thank you for being here.
Candy, it's such a pleasure to be here.
So can you tell me a bit about your personal and professional background?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Candy, I think there are three important events in my childhood that influenced who I am both as a creative person and as a clinical psychologist. And those three events were the fact that my parents were Holocaust survivors, that I had to deal with a serious bone disease growing up called osteomyelitis, which put me in a wheelchair for about a year, and the fact that I came from Montreal, Canada, which was about being a young Jewish boy in a French-Canadian neighborhood who made me appreciate diversity. So going back to what I learned from having parents who were Holocaust survivors and dealing with a serious bone disease was the fact that I had to persevere, that life was a struggle, and that the struggle can be enriching and fun and exciting, but my parents instilled with me that I always had to go after my dreams, that life was precious. And as I said, with that, being a young Jewish man growing up in a French-Canadian neighborhood, I learned very early on that diversity was not something to be afraid of, but something to actually hold on to and use as something very enriching. Okay.
So you've done a lot of work with people in creative industries. Why do you think it's particularly important for people who work in entertainment and television and film to seek consulting from professional psychologists such as yourself?
Well, I think it's important because a lot of individuals who are creative have to go internally in order to find some sort of inspiration. And a lot of times in order to go internally, you have to look at both the dark side of the force, so to speak, and also the light side of the force. And in order to do that, a lot of times it's going to bring up a lot of issues for people, and those issues are difficult to navigate. Sometimes those issues will actually are the inspiration that caused you to be an artist in the first place, which was interesting because I've come across this with artists, that they feel like if they heal the dark side, that they won't be creative anymore. And actually, what a lot of times they learn is the dark side that can turn into issues of drugs or alcohol, etc., are actually keeping them from being creative, that once they're able to resolve some of those issues, create some distance from it, that a lot of times they're actually going to be able to be more creative.
So what kind of guests can we look forward to on Engaging Minds, and how do you go about picking a guest or a topic each week?
Well, I think what made this show different and unique is the fact that I try to look at all different fields. So I look at business, political guests, creative people, but I'm after the same kind of person. I'm looking for people that are forward-thinking, people that are cutting edge, people that are willing to be bold in their choices. So it's not so much the topic, it's the process. I want people who are willing to speak and engage my mind. That's the concept of the show, is that when the two of us talk together, we create a new reality.
So since starting your career as entertainment consulting and books and other radio talk shows and beyond, what has been the biggest thing you've learned from the people that you've worked with, and how does that inform your new radio show?
One of the things I've learned the most is this concept of success, that it's such a personal experience for everyone, that what I've discovered is that no matter what field someone's in, everyone has had to work pretty hard. So the idea of an overnight success is a fallacy, and that people go through different phases of their career where, you know, especially for creative people, where they're working a lot and then they're suddenly not working a lot. But what was most important to all these people, it wasn't really about the money and it really wasn't about the fame. It was about the need to be creative, that people have that powerful desire, and it didn't matter how it was expressed. Again, whether it was business, sports, entertainment, health, that people needed to constantly be discovering new things about themselves and their work. And as long as they were able to do that, it seemed like they were able to maintain their success. That's one important thing I learned about the concept of success. The other important thing I learned from all these people, that even when you become successful, maintaining that success and not destroying yourself in the process was something that was very difficult. You know, we see that with actors all the time, or not creative people, that they may suddenly get a lot of success, and there's a certain kind of person that then will ruin it through drugs or alcohol or bad relationships or bad choices. And a lot of times because they couldn't tolerate the success. The success was too foreign to them, and they wanted to regress to a place where they were more comfortable. So what I also learned, that when you get successful, whatever that means, there's a whole new set of issues and challenges that you have to face in order to maintain that success. And how that's influenced the radio show is that I think that it's influenced my choice in people and people that I feel inspired by, because that's what I feel the radio show is about more than anything, especially during these difficult times, is that I want to give a voice and a forum for people to inspire other people, because that's what we try to do as a psychologist, and that's what we try to do as creative people. We try to maintain inspiration and constantly build on it.
So what is something you would like to achieve by having the radio show Engaging Minds?
There's two things I'd like to achieve. Is that I'd like to give a forum for people to come on the show, to talk about what's important to them, and to understand things from a deeper psychological point of view. I feel that life is very complex, and that there's this fear of this complexity, and I don't want people to be afraid of that. And I want people to also not be afraid to be smart. There seems to be this terror of being smart and looking at complexity. People want simple answers in very complex times. And I want the show to be able to show process, that there is a process involved in finding someone's personal or more like a communal truth, and that a lot of times that process can be very difficult. So for instance, when you hear about people's lives and their journeys of success, you can understand that it's maybe taken them 20 years to get there. And we don't really get that information in the media. What we get is the end result. We don't really get the sense of process. And I want the show to be able to be a glimpse into that, so it can inspire people to move forward in their lives. And like I said, whatever field they may choose to do that in.
So thank you, Dr. Gluss, for joining me here at the Beverly Hills Chamber of Commerce. We're really excited about all the work that you do and about your new radio show, Engaging Minds.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to be on.